Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's September 11th, 2014. And let's get straight into our news tonight. ISIS threat to America, a farce. Now, let me be very clear when I bring up this article. I'm not saying that ISIS doesn't exist. ISIS is a very real threat. They do have real extremists out there killing people on foreign soil, making threats to us here in the United States of America. So yes, they are real, and they are definitely an imminent threat. Now, with that said, the article points out, as I will like to point out to you, is that ISIS is a manufactured threat. It's controlled opposition. And let's take this example. You guys probably heard the old anecdote about the guy who lived in New York years ago, and he'd run around with a hammer and bust out people's windshields, their side mirrors or whatever. But he'd always do this right under a big sign that said, Bob's Auto Repair, whatever the guy's name was. It just so happened that Bob, the guy with the hammer, owned the auto repair shop. So he'd bust out your window, you look up, oh, Bob has an auto repair shop. Let me go see what he's doing. That's what the U.S. government is doing. We have ISIS, we have Al-Qaeda. We have Al-Qaeda in Iraq, Al-Qaeda in Syria. They break off, they merge together to form ISIS. But keep in mind, we're funding and will continue to fund Syrian rebels in Syria, most of which who aren't even really Syrian. So we have we're running around busting people's windows with Al-Qaeda, and now we have the auto repair shop being the U.S. military to go in there and clean up the problem. And that's what's happening in the United States of America. That's what our foreign policy has degraded to. Now let's hear what Obama had to say about this very important issue.
But I want the American people to understand how this effort will be different from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. It will not involve American combat troops fighting on foreign soil.
And you heard him say there, it will not involve American combat troops fighting on foreign soil. Well, that is in direct contradiction to what an NBC reporter put out. He says boots are already on the ground in Iraq. And this is NBC's chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engdahl, who says boots are already on the ground in Iraq. He says, I know there are already American boots on the ground where I am now, Engdahl told MSNBC News. And he's saying that the troops out there are doing everything possible to avoid the American cameras because you can't have troops on camera in a foreign land when Obama just said, no, there are not going to be any boots on the ground. It's a complete lie, a complete farce. And this is, like I said, this is what this administration has come to. And I'm not saying Bush is a angel or, Clinton was a sweetie cake, but it's a lot of, just fallacies in the way these guys handle the country. Now let's move on to something else ISIS related. There's this picture floating around the internet, maybe you guys have seen it, and it claims to show an ISIS militant with an apparent U.S. Army tattoo. Now I took the Photoshop challenge and I zoomed in on this image as far as I could go. As you can see from the image, it's already kind of pixelated. So I zoomed in and I found out that it's definitely not the image that you see to the right of the gentleman. It's not the clear picture that you see there. So you zoom it all the way in using Photoshop or whatever you have, and you find out it's a very similar logo. It looks to me kind of more like the Punisher logo, that Black Skull logo, than the one to the right. But when I zoomed in on it, I could not make out what the text said in the tattoo. So could it potentially be a U.S. Army tattoo? Yes, that is potentially what it could be. But the skull, to me, looked to be different, and I also cannot read the text at all. So if you guys have a clearer image of this, you can send that to infowars.com/show.
Celebrate the spirit of freedom and liberty upon which our nation was founded at InfoWarsShop.com. Molon Lave is ancient Greek for come and take it. This popular design combines both classic Greek Spartan imagery with modern M16 assault rifles. Now available in women's tees and proudly made in the USA. Celebrate the spirit of 1776 with the George Washington brass belt buckle or this incredibly sharp-looking 1776 hat. Badass. And be sure to check out the new arrivals at InfoWars Life, where you can prepare your body to perform at peak levels with Survival Shield, Nascent Iodine, Super Male Vitality, and Fluoride Shield. And wake up, America. Immune Support Blend is the healthy choice for the gourmet coffee lover. So get incredibly high-quality, freedom-based products and help fund the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.